This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
Your home for everything Heat.
They stand eye to eye with history, and they did not blink. The Heat are going to the NBA Finals.
Panthers.
The Florida Panthers are headed to the Stanley Cup Finals.
The Big O Radio Show goes deep on playoff coverage.
We don't care what the rest of the world is saying. We don't care who's criticizing who. You got to line up between these four lines, and let's figure this out.
The Big O Radio Show. The viewpoints, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
Alrighty, I'm getting ready to go to Dolphins camp because we're not doing a morning show, but we got to do something here because it seems like news is breaking in the MLS. InterMiami is set to actually make the signing of Lionel Messi. Yeah, the 7-time Golden Foot winner, right? 4-time league champion. They're going to sign him to a 2.5-year contract. So obviously all this stuff that Michelle Kaufman has been talking about for months, where Adidas and Apple and the MLS and the Moss brothers and all of that. And by the way, let's give the Moss brothers a victory cigar. All right, might as well give them a victory cigar if this is true. Yeah, that Messi and company have told Saudi Arabia, bye, see you later, not interested. It was down to Barcelona and Inter Miami, and Lionel Messi will be joining Inter Miami this summer. So get your Messi Inter Miami jerseys ready. Guillaume Balog, but I think it's Guillaume Balog is the guy that broke the story from CBS Sports Golazo and BBC 5 Live. This dude has 1 million followers. So this is not some schmuck, okay? This guy kind of knows his shit. And so BBC Sports has retweeted it. This is amazing. This is great, too, because they can't build a team anyways. They kind of need him, you know what I mean? So maybe this will make their lives a little easier and they're able to bring other players on board. Busquets also could be a part of this. When we come back in the afternoon at 2:00, after I'm done with Dolphins camp, I will then at that point address more of this, and we'll have more of the ins and outs. But a lot of people, man, thought that that Messi, would not come here, and I told a couple of friends of mine, dude, buy season tickets for this team, because if he comes the second half, you're going to make a boatload of money because you're going to be able to sell those tickets 8 to 10 times over what you bought them. You know what I'm saying? That stadium now is going to be out of control. All right. My prediction, by the way, is the four corners, the Moss brothers will add some other seating in it. I think you have to do that. If you're there, I don't know if you can do it in all four corners, but because I think you might not be able to do it on the left corner because of the suites and all that. But the other three, well, no, the other one of the corners is kind of an entrance. So I don't know, but they've got to at least figure out, I guess, the two on the east side. They might be able to put some there. But if they can put some other seating there, I'm pretty sure they will. because this, you're going to be there for 2 years. The sad part is you won't have the new stadium for Messi. That would be because it's going to take you a couple of years to build that stadium, because you still have to, what's it called, remediate the ground and get everything out and gut it all out. So it's going to be a real process. But it's a shame that they won't have Messi for the new stadium. But they'll have him. You'll have him now for the next 2 years. You'll get to see one of the greatest players to ever play the game in your backyard now. Well, that's if you can get a ticket. That's if you can afford a ticket. Okay. So breaking news. It has happened. Lionel Messi is set to join Inter Miami. Obviously, physical and Visa, MasterCard, American Express. No, seriously. Obviously, he's got to get the visa, which that's not going to be an issue. And I'm sure he's going to pass his physical. I don't think that that's going to be an issue. So those are the only things that you're going to be worried about at this point in time. But for him to come to Inter Miami, this is awesome. Apple made an enormous investment in the MLS. This is another way that, Apple was part of this, Adidas was part of this, the MLS was part of this, and the Moss brothers, obviously. So you've got 4 entities who had to kind of come up with all this money. And, he's probably got part ownership. Maybe they give him an expansion team for the future like they did with Beckham, all that kind of stuff. I'm sure Adidas is going to give him a fat cut. Apple's going to give him a fat cut. Now they're going to sell a shit ton of subscriptions to Apple. A whole load of people are going to be buying the Apple subscription to the MLS because not only watch them with Inter, but on the road, it's going to be like the Beatles now. There's not going to be a stadium with an empty seat at all wherever Messi goes. This is like when I was a kid and Pele was here. When Pele was here, it was just like, it was, insanity. And this is going to take it to 10 times that level, because obviously with social media and everything else, it's just different nowadays. Stars are even bigger nowadays than they've ever been. And this guy, it doesn't get any bigger than that. I congratulate the Moss brothers. They've got to straighten out their organization still, okay? You still got to do a better job of building this team, but you got your centerpiece now. You needed a number 9, or he could be a 10 too. He could do whatever the hell he wants to do on the field, but 9s and 10s have been a problem for this team since, brother, they haven't had a 10 since Pibe. Like, they haven't had a real point guard, on this team since the fusion. Well, actually, you know what? I shouldn't say that. Miami FC actually had a pretty damn good team. Hell, Fafa Picault was on that team, and he's in the MLS burning Inter Miami. So, hell of a move now that they made this. Chief Barroso on Twitter saying, should have bought those season tickets. I told you all. I told you to buy the season tickets. Didn't I tell you guys to buy season tickets? Didn't I talk about this? Didn't I say, hey, watch out? Because if you make this investment, you might be able to really cash in a big-time way. Let me see what we got here. Howdy, everybody. Isaiah, Frankie, Samuel is in. Thank you all out there for tuning in. As always, I figured I would do a really quick show here for you guys. I'll be back in the afternoon at 2 o'clock. Ira Winderman will join us at 3:30 to preview the Heat and the Nuggets. We'll have Omar Kelly at 3. I'm going to see. We'll get somebody to talk a little soccer and talk Messi. So we'll have somebody. I don't know which one, but I'll reach out to folks and see what we can do this afternoon. But I'll have something also for the whole Messi thing. But I wanted to make sure that we got this out there. Lionel Messi, man, he's coming. One hell of a move by Inter Miami. Victory cigar. I like it. All right, we'll see you guys at 2 o'clock. Enjoy. Things in South Florida just getting better and better and better. The Heat in the finals, Panthers in the finals, FAU, in Final Four, Nova Southeastern winning the national title in Division II. The Marlins are kicking some ass. Reyes is over 400. InterMiami gets MESSI. The Miami Dolphins will head to the Super Bowl this year.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.